Across the world, animals are under constant threat from people. Whether it's trading in exotic animal parts, keeping endangered species as pets, or the destruction of entire habitats, animals are left orphaned and homeless. But conservationists and animal charities have come to the rescue, creating refuges where these vulnerable creatures can live their best life again. Travel into the wilderness in northern Louisiana, and among the dense forest, unexpected sounds give a hint of what lies ahead. Nestled in the trees is the world's biggest chimpanzee sanctuary, Chimp Haven, home to more than 300 animals. Most of the animals here were bred in captivity to support biomedical research, but are now enjoying their retirement and living their best chimp life. Chimp Haven welcomed its first chimpanzees in 2005. Now there are about 30 families of chimps living in a beautiful forested area of 200 acres. Like human families, they range from the geriatric right through to troublesome toddlers.
Chimp Haven has 300 plus different personalities. So we see a range of differing characteristics. We have some that may be considered aggressive, some that are really loving and endearing, others that are caretakers, and even some romantics.
Chimpanzees are our closest relatives in the animal kingdom, even more so than gorillas, sharing almost 99% of their DNA with us. Since chimps are so biologically similar to humans, researchers expected they would be ideal for biomedical research into human diseases and their treatments. The animals have been used for research in the USA for around 100 years. But even leaving aside the ethical issues, researchers found that chimpanzees were not always a useful subject for research into particular diseases.
You really kind of have to go back to the 1980s, and that's when the HIV/AIDS crisis hit this country. And at that time, the scientists were really scrambling for a cure for HIV and AIDS or a vaccine. And so they went to the federal government and told them that they needed many more chimpanzees for their research.
Captive breeding programs were set up around the country, and hundreds of chimpanzees were born, many of whom were used in the search for treatments for AIDS.
If you fast forward then to the mid-90s, the scientists discovered that chimps were really not a good model for HIV and AIDS research, and they abandoned their studies with chimpanzees. So that's kind of how Chimp Haven came about, is there was a need to provide sanctuary for these animals that were no longer needed in biomedical research.
Land was donated to build Chimp Haven just 20 miles from Shreveport in Louisiana, with 3/4 of the operating costs funded by the U.S. National Institutes for Health. And in 2005, chimps started arriving at the sanctuary from research centers.
From the very beginning, we wanted to create a permanent retirement home where chimps could actually thrive and live a wonderful life like they would in the wild. We're really lucky that we have 6 beautiful forested habitats. These habitats range in size from 1.5 to 5 acres, are heavily forested with lots of pine trees and elm and holly. Just a great place for the chimps to be able to play and forage for nuts and berries and just really enjoy their time in retirement.
Each chimp's individual needs always come first. So Chimp Haven also provides smaller spaces to accommodate medical issues and even different social groupings.
Having worked with chimpanzees for a number of years, I've found that they are highly resilient. So we have some chimpanzees that make it to retirement and they very quickly acclimate to the chimp life. We have others that may take a little longer, but I've never seen a chimp that's made its way here that hasn't enjoyed the life that they've been afforded.
Family relationships are vital to chimpanzees. In the wild, they live in extended groups of around 20 to 120 individuals. So Chimp Haven works hard to keep family groups together and integrate new arrivals into a suitable group.
Chimpanzees live in a very complex social environment. Typically in the wild, there's an alpha male, family members, allies of the male, as well as females and infants.
Members may split into smaller groups throughout the day to spend time together, perhaps grooming each other, foraging for food, or heading off to explore. And then will often come back together in the evening. Just like human toddlers, the youngest chimps can be a bit of a handful. Here, Mum Passion is keeping a pretty close eye on her 4-year-old Carly, who enjoys pushing the boundaries with her family group.
And now Carly's up here at the moat exploring, and she might even be trying to see if there's anything in the moat that's good to eat. My guess is that one of the adults, here comes Aunt Nope. They tend to try to keep her away from the water and keep her safe.
Once Carly's worn herself out, she will always return to the family group for food.
This is Carly begging from her Auntie Nope. When a chimpanzee puts its face up close to another chimpanzee, they're begging for food. And in chimpanzee communities, often the other female chimpanzees will serve as ant-like figures to the youngsters. And now we see Carly bouncing off to go play and probably get into some more trouble.
When another of the youngest chimps, Natalie, lost her mother, she was immediately cared for by other members of her group. The Chimp Haven behavioral team monitored her daily for signs of mourning or depression. But fortunately, they found that Natalie's group did a great job of looking after her. In all, it takes over 70 staff to ensure the chimps live their best life at Chimp Haven. The staff stay separate from the chimps as much as possible, both for safety and to help the animals live a more natural life. And it's for these reasons that the sanctuary is only open to the public on a few days each year. Visitors have to keep a respectful distance from the animals, but get a unique opportunity to observe the chimps interacting and playing. Education is an important part of Chimp Haven's work, in particular helping spread the message that chimps are now endangered in the wild.
This is me. This is Jane.
Nobody knows wild chimps better than one of the sanctuary's most famous visitors, the world-renowned chimp researcher Jane Goodall.
It was a very special feeling to come here, to see these chimps outside, enjoying the habitat, because one of the things that's important for chimpanzees is the ability to choose who they travel with, to choose where they go, to choose when they go to bed. And coming to a place like Chimp Haven, where the 5-acre enclosures give them a chance to make those choices that are so important, I think, for chimpanzees, as they are for us too. And, I saw for myself in the short time I've been here that they were moving around in small groups, that some of them chose to be inside where it was warmer. Some of them chose to sit on the platforms they have. Some of them wanted to be out in the forest and climb the trees. And so for chimpanzees in captivity, it's pretty well perfect.
As nearly all chimps come to the sanctuary with health problems, key to the operation is the 9-strong medical team led by Dr. Raven Jackson Jewett, also known as Dr. J.
The day in the life of a vet at Chimp Haven is so various because we have 300 plus different personalities and so many events that can happen within that time.
Each day, Dr. J does a medical round where she observes the chimps and checks them out.
So this is Magnum, and part of what we do here at Chimp Haven, not only within the veterinary department, but all of animal care staff, is a program called our Positive Reinforcement Training Program. So I'm just going to do a little bit of training with him. This is very beneficial to the vet staff because it allows us to manipulate them, get visual aids of their different body parts to assess wounds, treat wounds without them having to be sedated. All right, Target. Good boy. Good boy. Give me your foot. Good job, Max. So in a medical round, we're going through and we're calling up each chimpanzee by name. Yes, each chimpanzee does know their name and they do respond to their name being called. And we're doing a visual ID. So I'm looking them over head to toe. I like to say fingers, toes, fingers, toes. I'm looking to make sure that I don't see any new wounds. I don't see any changes to their behaviors. That may be an indication that something is going on with them clinically.
This routine bonding means the chimps trust Dr. J if anything more serious comes up. They know she's here to help, not harm them.
So as you can see, this is the alpha male in this group. If he gets any sort of wound, if he's able to present it to me through the mesh, I also can utilize cleaning agents, topical antibiotics, that sort of thing to monitor and maintain wounds without having to sedate. He allowed me to do stethoscope training, which is great because not only am I able to visually look at him or manipulate by treating wounds, I was also able to auscultate his heart rate. So this would be very beneficial in any chimp that we know has a cardiac abnormality, just making sure that we can monitor the heart. You want to give me arm? I didn't even ask for it. Good job.
As the chimps get older, the vet team see many of the age-related conditions that humans also suffer from.
The leading cause of death in the chimpanzee is cardiovascular disease. Even though it differs a little from us as humans, it's still a primary cause of death here. We see everything. We see some of the geriatric changes like arthritis, periodontal disease, kidney dysfunction, liver dysfunction. So we really see a number of things that you would see typical to us in the human population.
So, every day, just as with humans, the care team prepare medication for the aging population, usually hidden in the chimps' drinks and food. Over half the chimps are on regular medication taken once or twice a day. Dr. J also oversees the chimps' diets.
As the chief veterinarian, it is my responsibility to also serve as a chimpanzee's nutritionist. I provide recommendations to our husbandry staff in feeding amounts for the fruits and vegetables that the chimpanzees receive.
Different chimp groups have different needs.
Today we're going to do a breakfast food toss for forage group, which has 20 chimps in it, and they have varying age ranges, including our youngest Carly, who's about 4.
Feeding 300 chimps is a huge undertaking. Some of the food given to the animals is grown on site, while the rest is brought in specially.
The chimps get really excited during the food toss. You might hear some pant hoots and some food barks. We're going to start out today with a leafy green, which is cabbage today, but we also do kale or romaine. Romaine is their favorite of all the leafy greens, but they also do like cabbage. You can see them now. They're starting to food bark, get excited because they know it's time to eat.
Chimps are largely vegetarian, with a diet of mainly fruits, berries, leaves, and seeds in the wild. But they also eat eggs and insects, and occasionally cooperate to hunt together for small animals like monkeys.
Natalie down here is clapping. She likes to try to get her food without having to do too much work. And so I'll drop her down some when none of the really high-ranked ones are around her. Good job, chimpies. All right, almost done with cabbage. These are their favorite, which are bananas. You gotta have kind of an arm to work here to be able to spread it all out. Natalie. Good job, Sarah.
There's a strict hierarchy in the group, with the most dominant animals feeding first. So it's important to make sure some individuals don't miss out.
This group, like I was mentioning before, has the 20 individuals. So we have another person that helps us cooperatively feed. She's going to hand out bananas to the low-ranked individuals to make sure that everybody gets their fair share of food, and then while I'm working on the high-ranked ones. So I'm going to get Mason one, Dee, Sarah, good catch. See, Diane, oh, almost. We also feed them forage, so anything that you can scatter feed and make them do those behaviors that they naturally have in the wild.
But even with these strategies, some of the chimps just don't get the exercise they really need. So once again, the care team come to the rescue, mirroring what many humans do when they need to lose a few pounds.
We have also incorporated a chimpanzee program for some of our overweight chimpanzees in making sure that we can keep them active. So that incorporates calisthenics, even some changes to their social environments to make sure that they're moving around on a daily basis to lose weight.
Chimp Haven even has a top weight loss performer who loves working with her personal trainer, Robin.
One star within our chimpanzee program is Crystal. Our goal via the chimpanzee program was to keep her active. She would come out and she'd run as fast as she could to the end of her yard. Via that program, she lost up to 40 pounds.
In 2015, the US National Institutes for Health announced a landmark decision. They would no longer support biomedical research on chimpanzees. It meant the retirement of hundreds of animals.
That really is when the transfers of chimpanzees from research facilities to sanctuary began in earnest. We knew we were going to soon be at capacity at Chimp Haven, and we wanted to make sure that we could welcome all the remaining eligible chimpanzees from biomedical research facilities to sanctuary. So in order to do that, we needed to expand our campus. And we launched a $20 million expansion campaign so we could build more habitats and staff support spaces so we would be able to welcome all of those chimps in the future.
With great generosity from donors, almost all the money needed has now been raised, and 3 new forested habitat areas have been built. For many of the chimps retired from research facilities, it's their first chance to experience a more natural outdoor setting.
This morning is a really exciting day at Chimp Haven. Today, Riley's group is going out into one of the new forested habitats for the very first time.
Chimp Haven has special chute systems to direct the chimps into different areas of the sanctuary.
It's really important for the chimpanzees to be able to experience new living spaces like this. In the wild, they have larger territories and things are changing every day and with the seasons, etc. So this provides a new environment that they can rotate into to provide new spaces and different choices.
Our chimps have different reactions when they first go into a habitat. Some of them are very excited because basically think about it, it looks like you're going into an open space. You're coming out of a door and there's just woods. And so a lot of them will get excited. Hobbs, we have video of, really enjoyed the habitat on his first day. He came down, displayed across the front, right in front of the moat to show everybody he was really enjoying his new space. And some of them are going to be a little bit more anxious because this is a brand new thing for them. They might not have seen such a wide open space before, and so that can be a little bit intimidating, but their caregivers are there to encourage them and help them work up their confidence so that they can check it out more. I know Maxie was a little anxious when she first came out. She's a very, very smart chimp, so She was not quite sure how to take it all in, but she explored and definitely got more comfortable. And it was exciting to watch them as they got more settled.
It also gives them a chance to patrol like they would in the wild.
They'll set off usually in a little bit of a group and check the perimeter of the habitat, make sure things are looking good and normal.
Research suggests that chimps don't instinctively climb trees. It's actually a learned behavior. So the care staff were especially interested to see how a chimp called Penny got on. Penny had spent most of her life in research facilities, but unlike most of the chimps, she was actually born in the wild. To everyone's delight, she immediately climbed one of the tall pine trees and was able to enjoy spending her days looking over the sanctuary. Youngster Carly is well on the way to mastering how to climb, something she's learned by observing others in her group. Chimp Haven knows none of their chimps can return fully to the wild, and the sanctuary grounds cannot provide all the challenges wild chimps experience. So instead, they devise what they call enrichment activities.
We provide enrichment to elicit natural behaviors that chimpanzees would normally perform in the wild. For example, in the wild they perform a behavior called fishing, where they stick actual sticks into termite mounds and they fish for termites and try to pull them out.
The sanctuary staff have built artificial termite mounds containing apple sauce instead of termites. It's quickly become one of the chimps' favorite activities. The chimps use long sticks that they usually get from the forest, and they show remarkable skill in fishing out the sauce. Carly is learning to fish by observing the adult chimps, but she seems more interested in using her stick as a weapon to distract the adults and get them to play with her. The enrichment team is always coming up with ingenious ways to keep the chimps stimulated.
An example of one of the food enrichments that we'll give is basically a dog toy that has a hole in the center. It's very durable so they can chew on it. And we'll stuff any kind of food inside of it. It could be bananas, oatmeal, applesauce, and we freeze it most of the time. It takes a long time for them to dig it out with their fingers and to eat it. So instead of giving them straight food, we're giving them something that will occupy their time. Anything that will keep a chimp's attention for extended periods of time is very enriching.
Another opportunity for enrichment comes with nesting. Chimps in the wild build a new nest to sleep in every day, either in the trees or on the ground.
They actually build nests with a lot of natural sources like sticks and leaves and grasses, and we like to elicit those same natural behaviors in captivity.
The chimps decide whether to sleep inside or out, and Chimp Haven provides a host of materials for the animals to choose from, including hay, pine straw, and blankets. But like young children, they sometimes prefer just to get inside a cardboard box. The chimps also make nests to doze in during the day, and the blankets are a very popular choice.
A lot of them like to lounge in the sun whenever it's a nice day. They like to hang out on the structures, catch some rays down by the moat, and just really enjoy the space that they have.
Each of the chimpanzees at Chimp Haven has their own personality and history, so it's perhaps inevitable that many of the staff have their own favorite.
One chimpanzee that holds my heartstrings is a chimp named Buster. I actually met Buster when I was still a veterinary student. Our story came full circle when he made his way to Chimp Haven in a life of retirement. And I was pretty pleased to see that I was still his favorite girl and he's still my favorite guy.
My favorite chimp is Norma. She also goes by Norma Larma or Norma Jean. She is my bestest gal just because she doesn't show herself to everyone, or her playful self. So I think it's a real treat when you get to actually know the real her.
My favorite chimp is Latoya because she's super sassy, very smart, and is really willing to be silly and play once you get to know her.
My favorite chimpanzee is Gasoki. I met him in 2008 at a facility in Texas, and then he eventually came to Chimp Haven, and I have been so blessed to meet him. He's really funny. He loves to play chase. He has kind of a Napoleon complex because he's short, but he likes to think he's tough.
There is a chimpanzee that I think I am particularly emotionally attached to, and his name is Hamlet. He is a big male chimpanzee that I actually worked with before he came to Chimp Haven. So he's very special to me because I've sort of watched his journey over time. And Hamlet is one of those chimpanzees that has adjusted to life at Chimp Haven in many ways over time. And he's now in sort of his geriatric years, and I'm getting close to those in myself. And so I feel like we have a very close bond. Anytime that I come on site, Hamlet will look for me and I'll look for him to say hello.
Chimp Haven has always been the main national retirement home for chimps involved in research programs. Since the use of chimps stopped in 2015, the sanctuary has welcomed more than 200 former research chimps to retirement in Louisiana.
Hey guys, we're on our way to pick up Huey and Pancake. Yay!
In January 2022, 2 of the last research chimps scheduled for transfer to sanctuary arrived at Chimp Haven. Huey and Pancake will spend a few weeks in quarantine before beginning their new life. While more chimps from research programs may be retired here in the future, numbers are decreasing significantly.
Chimp Haven is really entering a new phase, and this provides Chimp Haven with the opportunity, really for the first time, to look at opening its doors to chimpanzees at other sanctuaries or in other situations that really need rescuing or really need sanctuary. So for example, there's a sanctuary in Los Angeles called the Wildlife Way Station, and they closed their doors in 2019, and they left 42 animals there, chimpanzees, that needed to be rehomed.
Wildlife Way Station provided sanctuary for chimps from a wide variety of backgrounds. Some came from private biomedical research, some from the entertainment industry, and others were kept as pets until they grew up and their owners couldn't cope with them anymore. Each chimp is estimated to cost almost $20,000 a year to keep in a sanctuary. Unfortunately, Wildlife Way Station was unable to continue operations due to financial issues.
We're really excited that we'll be able to actually welcome 11 of these animals later this year and transfer them to sanctuary and have them enjoy their life here at Chimp Haven.
At the moment, Chimp Haven has just one chimp that used to be kept as a pet. Henry came to the sanctuary over a decade ago, after living in terrible conditions for 15 years, alone in a cage in a garage. Henry was severely malnourished and had never mixed with other chimpanzees, so the sanctuary had to introduce him very slowly and carefully to other chimps. But now, he's healthy and flourishing in his group, enjoying play sessions with his pals, and simply loving being a chimp again. Campaigners hope that as attitudes change, the hundreds of chimps still kept as pets and many others in the entertainment industry will also be rescued or retired in the coming years, able to come to sanctuary to enjoy their best chimp life.
We've learned so much over the years about chimpanzees and care, and it seems like we should harness all of that knowledge and be able to use that in the future to benefit even more chimps in need.
the hills of northern Thailand, Elephant Nature Park provides a sanctuary for more than 100 Asian elephants, as well as many other rescued animals. Set up in the 1990s, the park is the vision of one woman, Sangdwan Chailat, better known as Lek, which means small in Thai. Lek has devoted her life to campaigning for the rights and welfare of Thailand's majestic national symbol. And she has a quite remarkable bond with the rescued elephants.
I never say that I am the elephant expert. I never say that I am the elephant whisperer. When elephants know that is, we love them. That's it. It's don't need to be me. Can be with anyone. We have to open our heart first. And if we open our heart for them, anyone can be elephant whisperer, can be communicate with elephant. I strongly believe that love can make them become our friend. When the people see that is I sit down and elephant walk to put me under them in the middle of the herd, they ask me, do I afraid of them? I have to let you know that is I feel safe more than that is I walk beside the street, because I believe that is they can reach me. They feel that is I am the one that is love them and I can trust them completely. What's that? Okay, stand up. They put the trunk down and I start to lullaby to them. You would never know that it's the most peaceful. I completely feel that it's therapy and relax and very peaceful for me. What will I do? Will I be 50? Will I be close? Take out of our ego, take away of what is human thinking, and turn to be kind to them, love them. And that is one main reason that you can be with any animal. Whatever will be, will be.
Elephant Nature Park is set 40 miles north of the city of Chiang Mai, a center of the tourist trade. Here, elephants have traditionally been trained to put on shows for tourists. Lek grew up in this part of the country and from an early age was appalled by the mistreatment of the huge creatures.
I have witnessed a lot of cruelty for this elephant, and I still can see this animal have been abused, and a lot of things that behind the scene is not really happy for this beautiful giant.
Whether it's to put on shows or give tourists rides, Lek has witnessed elephants just a few years old undergoing brutal training, beaten into submission. And the cruel treatment continues throughout their life in captivity, with handlers using sticks with sharp metal points to control the elephants.
For the elephant, they are the big animal on earth, and people just think that is no way people will go to treat them very bad. But the fact is they get treated bad in every industry.
Lek started to rescue injured and abandoned elephants, and Elephant Nature Park quickly began to grow. Many of the elephants need long-term care, a huge daily commitment for the dedicated team of 5 veterinary nurses and 1 full-time vet, Dr. Chanarung Sizad, known by everyone as Dr. Tom.
We normally start at 8 and we will start to do treatment of the routine work, such as the cleaning wound. A lot of them here got injured from a landmine.
First patient each day is Tai Koon, who has a badly damaged foot from stepping on one of the huge number of landmines near the Thai-Cambodia border.
We'll clean her wound, draining the abscess, and then put all the medicines like antiseptic, antibiotic, and then we cover her foot with the sock because she will walk into the river. Just cover it for protect it from the mud and dirty water.
Also among the daily round of patients are Suk Jai, the old lady of the park, who has hip problems and needs daily injections. And Kanjana, who needs constant treatment of 5 serious burns caused when she stepped in a fire pit while working in a logging camp. All the young elephants up to age 10 get vitamin C hidden in their food to prevent the herpes virus, common in juvenile Asian elephants. In general, the elephants who come to the sanctuary in the worst condition have spent their life giving tourist rides.
The elephant, if they come from the riding camp, they will have a very starvation. They're skinny, they have very bad foot condition, have very bad skin condition. Some of them have the fungal infection on their skin. We can see the white spot all over the body. And some of them have a very bad problems of a hip joint and joint degeneration.
When elephants first arrive, some may even need round-the-clock care, and on occasion Dr. Tom has to sleep beside them for days on end. He finds the work very fulfilling, especially after seeing their life in captivity.
When we go to visit the elephant, we will see the elephant stay alone, stay on chain, stay separately from each other. Yeah, doing work, very hard job, like carry tourists on their back. But after came here to ENP, I feel very happy to see them can stay with the family, stay with the mom. All of them can join being like a big group going to play in the river. It's one of the most special moments.
With constant pressure to take more elephants, the sanctuary is always stretched to the limit. Recent times have been particularly challenging. The COVID pandemic has led to many elephants across Thailand being abandoned.
I have to turn my back to many, and almost every day I get the call because of the COVID-19. The owner, that is, they have no income. They have to let the elephant go. For us, it's also a difficult time, and we will try to do our best for them.
One call for help that Lex simply couldn't ignore came from the owner of 7 elephants in a tourist camp near the capital Bangkok, which had no income at all during the COVID pandemic.
กิจกรรมของเราก็หลักๆเลยก็คือขี่ช้างนั่งช้างเที่ยวชมป่าโชว์ช้างอยู่ในปางช้างเผือกหมดธุรกิจหยุดแต่ว่าช้างต้องมีคนดูแลช้างต้องมีอาหารกินการหยุดนี่แหละครับแต่ค่าใช้จ่ายไม่ได้หยุดเลยครับนะครับทีนี้รายได้ผมไม่มีเข้าผมจำเป็นต้องขายตอนแรกผมประกาศในเว็บไซต์นะครับก็ไม่มีคนซื้อนะครับก็ไปขอร้องมูลนิธิให้มาช่วยครับมูลนิธิก็มาช่วย
Lex Charities Save Elephant Foundation raised funds for the rescue from her supporters around the globe and offered a unique opportunity to some of the Thai donors to help with the operation.
So thousands of us come together and rescuing this beautiful elephant. And she's one of the elephants that we are moving from Ratchaburi to Chiang Mai.
So essentially we're providing her with a new home in nature and a new home that treats her well.
We truly believe that this is the new normal for Thai elephant tourism. And it's COVID has given us and many of us an opportunity to lend a hand to the elephant owner who no longer have revenue, and also we can get the elephant into the new environment.
The rescue is a massive challenge. transporting the elephants 500 miles to Elephant Nature Park.
This trip with 7 elephants, huge job. It's not easy.
7 trucks are specially converted with wooden frames to safely transport the unpredictable animals. And one by one, they're tempted aboard with food before they set off on the marathon journey. Almost immediately, there's a problem.
I can see the eyes of them. When the first minute, their eyes very fear and angry. They're very upset because they don't want to be on the truck. They start to damage the truck. I think it's a problem with the frame.
While the frames are repaired, the elephants' old handlers, known as mahouts, have to be brought in to accompany them on the journey.
See that she say hello to her mahout. Look, she don't touch the food before, but now she eat because of her mahout coming.
The convoy slowly makes its way north across Thailand. The volunteers have to constantly spray the elephants with water to keep them cool in the burning sun. But as the sun sets, there's an unexpected setback. They drive straight into a ferocious tropical storm. And for safety, the convoy is forced to take a halt. But they know it's crucial for the elephants' well-being to minimize the time spent in the trucks. So as soon as the rain eases off, they drive on through the night.
It has been very exciting but also tiring journey for all of us because it has been raining a lot. But the elephant, they were so happy with the rain because it's so hot. My heart is bursting inside because I know we're near Elephant Nature Park. And I know they're gonna love the rest of their life. It's gonna be beautiful, it's gonna be happy.
After almost 24 hours of traveling, the 7 elephants finally approach their new home. The elephants seem none the worse for their epic journey.
Now they are home, it seems they are relaxed. Look, they trunk up, they're happy, and they're very happy. So now I'm overwhelmed to see them to be a member of our family.
The next morning, the elephants enjoy their first ever day of freedom. They'll stay in quarantine for around 2 weeks until the vet team gives them the all clear, and then they'll be introduced to other elephants at the park.
We try to introduce them to join the herd as quick as we can. And that's our job, you know, to see them be a family, to see them be elephant again.
Vital to the smooth running of Elephant Nature Park are an army of volunteers coming from all over the world to help look after the animals.
The volunteers have been helping us clean the area. They help us to feed elephant. They help us to plant the food. They help us with a lot of job with the elephant kitchen.
Importantly, the volunteers also help the sanctuary by paying for the privilege of getting a unique life experience.
They help to fund for the, for the project. When they come here, then fee can help us to sustainable for the project.
Despite being so stretched, Elephant Nature Park doesn't just have elephants. Lek has felt unable to turn her back on many other animals she's also seen suffering.
We have horse, rabbit, we have farm animals here, we have cow, we have buffalo, we have wild pig, we have so many animals in here. We have over 5,000 today.
Among them are around 1,600 cats in an area of the park called Cat Kingdom. It is an extraordinary sight. They've been rescued from appalling conditions, with once again a great increase in animals abandoned by owners during COVID. On arrival, all the cats get a full health check. And Cat Kingdom provides them with everything they could need, from 2 meals a day to a waterfall, and even a skywalk, or catwalk, that they love to climb and sleep on. Equally remarkable is Elephant Nature Park's dog project. They've close to 1,000 dogs, many of them in a terrible state when they arrive, so the project is very dependent on volunteers, like Chris, who's come from the UK.
Many animals that come here arrive in awful condition, actually. Some come with broken bones, have been involved in car accidents. Many come covered in ticks, fleas, especially dogs that have been found free roaming. We've had dogs come from puppy mills, so they've come emaciated, where they've spent most of their life in cages. One of the main jobs that we do, we look after the clinic dogs, so dogs that have been admitted to the clinic for sickness or for a health reason. What happens is they spend some time with us in the clinic, we look after them, they get the correct veterinary treatment from our team of vets, and then when they are better, we take them back to their homes within the park and they carry on living their lives. So we spend a lot of our time ensuring feeding, walking, cleaning the dogs in the clinic.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? He just had a seizure. Bye.
One of the volunteers has to take a dog urgently to the clinic.
About a week ago, he had his first seizure, which we found him in there just screaming, shaking. But he's been fine since then. Then he's just, as we were playing with these dogs, just had another one.
He seems okay, but will stay in the clinic for observation. Some volunteers take part in very labor-intensive work, helping nurse dogs back to health.
We work with one dog called Daisy. She came disabled in the park, so after a car accident, she don't use the back leg and she's incontinent, but she started to use a little bit the back leg. So she decided to try and start pool therapy. We have a special therapy for disabled dogs. And one day, when we put Daisy back after this therapy, and when we put her back in the run, one time she just walked like a disabled and suddenly stand up by herself on the 2 feet. Then we will start to have the first tears on the eyes, and wow, that's amazing.
Chris's time at Elephant Nature Park is coming to an end.
It's very sad. There's just so many dogs that I don't want to leave. We spend a lot of our time every single day giving love to these dogs, giving them attention, taking them for walks. So it's a difficult thing leaving here. I'd like to think the dogs will miss me. I think especially now during COVID, when there isn't a steady flow of volunteers in, I think the dogs will certainly miss having us around.
The sanctuary is always on the lookout for the right people to adopt a dog and give it a loving home.
We'll miss the dogs every day. A few dogs that I'd love to take home. Right now, for me, it's not possible. I would like to come back here for sure, so maybe come back and take some dogs back when we leave again, maybe.
Elephant Nature Park does encourage paying visitors, but it's very different from the usual Thai tourist experience.
People who arrive here, they want to see elephant happy, to be the part of freedom. We have no show for animal here, and if anyone expect to see elephant to do the trick show, this place is not the place.
Not only do tourists and volunteers help fund the park's vital work, the hope is that they will help kickstart a global change in attitude to working elephants.
We use our project to educate the volunteer and to help we raise awareness, to help the people to understand about elephant. And when people go home, people can educate family and friends and help to protect for more tourists to come to Thailand and expect to ride elephant or to see elephant as the entertainment.
These three elephants, Nongpop, Kampang and Mapon, are pioneers. They're leaving Elephant Nature Park on a 2-day trek to a new, much wilder home. It's part of Lek's long-term vision for captive elephants to be able to live as natural a life as possible.
I don't want people to come and disturb elephant. I'd rather to see elephant to be themselves. People can see them from the distance. And this is my dream and the goal.
Lek has located a mountainous, forested area 20 miles north in Ban Lao, an area where she grew up. Called Elephant Highlands, the new sanctuary is perfect for healthier elephants like these three.
I have a dream for a long time. I want to see them to be totally in their home, happy in the nature habitat. I want to see them run in a big area. They have a river to swim. They have the place to play.
Volunteers are helping Lek lead the first three elephants to their new home. It's going to be a challenging journey.
We're walking 20 kilometers today. Very far, but we're looking forward to it.
The first part of the route is along roads and through villages, and it's incredibly hot.
We had a brief stop at least every half an hour, so if the elephant seemed hot or tired, we'd just take a break. Find a stream or a river, give them more food, give them lots of water.
We were looking for shade so that they could have rest. And the mahouts were cutting some of the bamboo, some of the banana trees, so that they could have that for snacks. Anything to just kind of coax them along, just to make them interested in continuing to walk, because they've never done this before.
There was one guy who let us go and get some papaya to feed the elephants. So gave us a big stick, and we went and just chopped them down from the tree. And yeah, the elephants loved that as a little snack.
Wow, yummy, yummy. A century ago, Thailand had hundreds of thousands of elephants. But now the combined wild and captive population has plummeted to less than 5,000, making this national symbol a rare sight in many parts of the country.
We all stopped at the villages and we had a lot of people come up to us and they were really excited to see the elephants, and I don't think they'd ever seen one before.
With help from the volunteers, they make good progress on the first day.
It's something that I never thought I would be able to do. I was able to be really close to the elephants and feed them along the way to help kind of chivvy them along a little bit.
walking in more jungle today, more forest rather than the road. So it's quite tough, quite steep, and there's a lot of kind of navigation. It's really hot today, but the ground isn't very even, so we've got to be really careful and really vigilant. So I think today's going to be quite tough, but today is the final leg of the journey.
Finally, towards the end of day 2, the elephants approach their new home, the mountain of Ban Lao.
Since they are born and they train to work for the elephant circus, elephant show and elephant riding, they never see the new environment like this, they never see forest.
It's amazing to see how far they've come, to know that they've been rescued from circuses and all sorts of other degrading programs. So the fact that they are so healthy now and that we're able to transport these, rehabilitated elephants back to the wild where they can kind of thrive and be in nature is such a great feeling, and you can just kind of tell how happy they are.
They've been overwhelming, tough, very, very tough. It felt like it was a dream. I just felt so lucky to have been able to do it. It's so rewarding knowing that we're helping the elephants come to their new home.
Captive elephants can almost never fully return to the wild. So, Elephant Highlands has been designed to give the elephants maximum freedom, but support and protection when they need it. Sadly, for many of Lek's rescued animals, the journey and mountainous terrain is simply too tough for them.
Most elephants at Elephant Nature Park, we rescue them from overwork, old elephant, blind, lame, many handicapped. So I think more than 85% we cannot release them into the jungle.
So Lek has also been expanding Elephant Nature Park, creating a new semi-wild area where visitors observe elephants from a distance on a specially created skywalk. All part of her goal for every Thai elephant to live once more in a natural habitat, protected from poaching and mistreatment.
I would like to see them to stay happy, and they don't have to worry about their life again. I want them to stay peaceful, and I want them to stay with dignity.
Horses have been an essential part of human culture around the world. But few realize that North America is the birthplace of all horses, about 4 million years ago. From here, these early horses migrated around the world, the last of them dying out in America about 12,000 years ago. Today's herds of American Mustangs are leftovers from the Spanish explorers, Native Americans, and the industrial age of horses, wagons, and buggies. Today, there are over 70,000 wild horses in the United States, plus more than 15,000 burros. To manage the environment, including the sustainability of land for both these horses and agricultural needs, a U.S. government service, the Bureau of Land Management, rounds up thousands of wild horses each year. Unwittingly, they are breaking up herd and family groups, placing them in large holding pens, often for extended periods, and selling off most of them. Wild horse advocates like Netta DeMeo and her Return to Freedom nonprofit are calling for other solutions, including wild horse sanctuaries and safe fertility control programs.
I started Return to Freedom because it was a response to what I saw happening to wild horses in our country. And I first became aware of wild horses when I was a young girl, and I saw them being chased on television, and it really gripped me. And it was really then that I knew I wanted to create a sanctuary. But that was sort of a childhood dream. And then as I got older, every part of me was moved to do something. And, I wanted not to, because it was like, oh my God, this is a lot. How am I going to do this? I didn't have a trust fund. I didn't have any money. I didn't have land. I didn't know how to start. But I just put one foot in front of the other and kept going. And I really learned a lot from the horses and the burros along the way.
Today, Netta and her team, including horse experts and biologists, manage some 450 wild horses and burros across 3 properties in Northern and Southern California. The facility at Lompoc is headquarters and where a lot of care and maintenance of horses occurs, as well as public outreach.
He just got adopted recently. A sanctuary is great, but you're only going to save the horses you save. But it is really powerful as an educational platform and a venue for people to come and understand, first of all, that we have wild horses in America.
Recently, they took in Rosebud and her colt Fig from a rare line of wild Spanish-descended horses.
It's an exceptional colt, and she's an exceptional mare. She's not even halter trained. You guys are touching a horse that has no training on her at all. Nothing. This is just who she is.
One of Return to Freedom's goals is to preserve these rare strains of American Mustangs.
She's adopted with Fig, and they'll be teaching corporate groups along with a few other horses. June Gunter is the head of teaching horse, and she met them last week and was like instantly, oh my God, no, they're teaching horses. So you can see.
Oh, you can see why.
Yeah, and you're going to need some manners. Yes, you are. Come here. A sanctuary is really powerful as an educational platform. What is a wild horse? What is a Mustang? And then understanding the different, herds that we have and how they got here and their significance historically, but also as a very integral part of these very delicate ecosystems in which they're thriving.
And it's these ecosystems and their sparse vegetation which are the proving grounds used by the Bureau of Land Management to decide the fate of the wild horses.
The BLM monitor the vegetation growth, the climate, the weather, everything that's going out there that would impact carrying capacity and the available resources for the animals. And then they make a judgment call, and based on that, how many animals can be out there and stay healthy. Especially when you're looking at horses, you have to understand that horses are out there 24/7. They're out there all year long. So we want to make sure the herds don't grow beyond what the land can support in the dead of summer as well as the dead of winter, where resources are in particularly scarce.
When we talk about managing this planet, we're managing resources. We're harvesting everything now. And because of that, we've caused a lot of problems. We've interrupted wildlife corridors. We've destroyed species for a lifestyle that we want. It's a lifestyle of excess, especially in America and some other countries. Sometimes you're looking and you're saying, are they eating rocks? How are they surviving this? Because they are so adaptable, the horse's life, their history is millions of years old. They have a very sophisticated social structure, and that is how they survive out there. This is just they're doing their mating dance. So he's just going to give her attention. They have a rod.
Advocates like Return to Freedom don't subscribe to the belief that wild horses need to be extracted in invasive helicopter roundups every time food looks a little scarce, particularly when the horses are seen to be competing with cattle ranchers.
You know, we're trying to make sure that the herd size stays in line with the land, with what the land can support. Also in conjunction, you know, we do have other uses out on the land that others might be opposed to. You know, we have livestock grazing, we have habitat for wildlife, space for recreation. It's trying to balance all those different uses on the lands. I think that you naturally would create people who oppose things and people who support things.
So I live with them 7 months out of the year, to actually out on the range with the wild horses in Wyoming, Utah, Colorado, and Montana. Mainly just spending time with them, but we also document all the herds.
Well, it's unfortunate, but the Bureau of Land Management historically and today continues to manage wild horses like livestock. It's done to be efficient for them to capture as many as they can on a given day, basically doing a gate cut and counts. And they don't pay attention to keeping any of the family bands together. In 2020, there was a roundup in what's called the Red Desert Complex in Wyoming. And this is one of the family bands that friends of ours had known very well and documented photographically for years.
I'd watch these horses from foal to band stallion. So getting ready for that roundup was almost like part of my heart being ripped out. It was painful to watch because I knew that these families, a lot of the bands had been together. Some of these stallions with their mares had been together over 15 years.
Where should we do it? Maybe right here? Sure. But this will hold them. Here, just, yeah. There. So the stallion over here, you can see him back there looking at me soon, with the long dreadlock hanging down. He was captured, and so were the 4 mares, his main mares. They were all taken to Bureau of Land Management's holding corrals, where they were completely separated for over a year. In that time in the holding corrals, the mares gave birth to these foals. They're now a year old.
So this is the first opportunity they've really had with a solid home where we're working with them and they're getting used to people just providing them with food and care. We have the opportunity to be able to work with them and getting to know people a little bit better in a positive way so that we can start gentling them and letting us touch around their face or on different parts of their body, just really slowly getting to build that relationship and trust so that they know that whenever we're coming up, we're not going to be doing something scary or something stressful with them.
One of the things that we push for, we push hard, it's the foundation of our advocacy platform, is implementation of proven, safe, and humane fertility control on the range so that they can minimize roundups or eliminate them.
By using minimally invasive, humane fertility control vaccines on the mares, teams of trained personnel can control the size of Mustang herds, thereby reducing the horse's impact on the land and potentially competing with ranchers. This also avoids potential controversial methods of physically gelding the stallions or other forms of sterilization. Return to Freedom continues to advocate for this sensible approach to the wild horse land issue.
We want to see roundups end entirely, and we would like to see our wild horses and our wild burros free-ranging on our public lands.
Further up the ridges at San Luis Obispo Sanctuary, Netta finds other family members of the Red Desert herd.
This is one of the herds that we released this year. We reunited this whole band. They had been rounded up in 2020 from the Red Desert. Meg Frederick and another photographer knew them very well.
have been photographing them for years, and we finally pieced together that stallion right now, that beautiful blue roan pinto in the middle there up front. Those are his curls.
There's a lot of opposition to some of our helicopter gathers. Most people who actually come out to our gathers and observe them recognize that this is the most humane way we can gather animals, large numbers of animals in a short distance of time over such a large area.
Usually the foals, they will get capture shock. So basically, when they're rounded up by a helicopter, and when they get into the corrals, they can collapse and die. And that's what happened to one of ours. And so basically her foal goes away and just never comes back. At 2 months old, she's still nursing. She was skin and bones when we got her. These two were actually very skinny. He was beat up horribly and so skinny, I didn't even recognize him. Had I not adopted him at that first adoption, he would have gone straight to long-term holding with all the elderly horses for the rest of his life, and he's 7 years old.
Horses live in herds, and they are sentient beings. They're social mammals like we are, and they suffer. They suffer a lot of the same experiences we do when we're torn apart from those that we are bonded with and those that we love. I mean, you can use whatever words you want, but it's very clear when you watch their behavior that they are very closely bonded within their family bands and their bachelor bands.
Meanwhile, back at the Lompoc facility, the work continues. Here, Return to Freedom team members are providing specialized care for the adopted wild horses. As part of her job, Marina looks after older horses that have special feeding requirements.
During the summer months, probably from May until October or September, they stay out in the field, and then during the winter months, they'll get hay. I'm here and I get to play with ponies all day, and people get jealous that I get to do that all day, and it's dinner time. Feed me. Hi, Bonita. So this is Bear, he's the stallion, and these are all of his mares that are out here. None of these horses are being ridden, but yeah, it all just depends on their age, and then he'll stay on his special feed just because he is older. He has teeth that's a little bit more that are worn down, and so this will just help him get the extra nutrients that he needs.
William, a fairly new member of the team, heads out to feed horses currently not grazing in the surrounding hills.
So my name is William Minderler. I'm a ranch hand here at Return to Freedom. And my day-to-day just is really feeding all the horses, cleaning up and fixing whatever needs to be fixed around the ranch. Wild horses were completely new to me. I mean, I've worked in a number of barns since I started working here, and there's nothing like them. They're completely different. They have their own personalities. I mean, every horse does, but just something about wild horses is completely different than any other horse I've seen. I never really was into horses until I started working here. I never really was around them. But I mean, it's nice to be here and actually have like a purpose of like what we're doing and, you know, just having meaning behind your work every day and, you know, fulfilling all that.
Our biggest challenge right now is, it's always money to finance the feed. Hay is up by 41% this year. These horses and these burros are living, especially at the sanctuary, they're living well into their 30s. And we want to give them best quality of life we can. Yes, they're wild, but now they're in our fences. So now they become our responsibility.
So with Return to Freedom, they have an issue that a lot of other actual wild horse territories and other sanctuaries that I've worked with have, and that is it's tough to grow enough grass and forage to feed a growing horse population. So at this particular sanctuary, they've got about 800 acres total. Probably my estimate is they've got closer to 500 acres maybe of actual productive ground that's growing a lot of vegetation that the horses can feed on.
Now with climate change and drought hitting the West in particular, Netta has the extra challenge of providing feed, usually hay, to the horses she's rescued and keeps at the San Luis Obispo Sanctuary.
What?
About 12.5 tons.
12.5 tons. And how much is it costing?
About $5,500.
So that's about 250 bales and 12.5 tons, and it costs about $5,560. That'll probably last about 110 horses here. We throw it every other day. We throw about 15 bales every other day. It's probably going to last 3.5 weeks.
What I want to do is work together with the Return to Freedom and see if we can find some ways of doing the best we can at maintaining the largest number of horses that we can sustainably maintain on this property. Keep both the horses in good condition and also keep the landscape here that the horses are using in the best condition possible.
This is how the San Luis Obispo Sanctuary looks for much of the year.
When the plants are green, that's when they're most nutritious for the animals. When they dry out, they still have lots of energy in them, so a lot of cellulose, but it takes the horses quite a while to be able to digest that cellulose and get energy from it.
The once beautiful green and bountiful meadows are giving away more and more to dry slopes after long periods of drought, which means Netta and the RTF workers have to also keep the dusty hills from compromising the health of the horses.
So, dragging up here?
Yeah, I think we're going to just first do like this whole area here, and then across the road, you know, the ridge. Sure.
Grading the ground creates a better environment for the horses until the spring. Beyond grooming the land, the RTF team also has to look after the health of individual horses.
So I am about to attempt to treat a horse named Azur. He has some sensitivities to the sun. He has some really light pink skin around his nose and around his eyes. So I have this combination of aloe, sunscreen, and fly spray to hopefully help him out, help to relieve any skin irritation that he has, help to keep the flies off, and help to protect him from the sun.
Now Dr. Hornier and his team from nearby Cal Poly University are following through on their promise to help these herds maximize the food they can extract from this land.
So I want to set up some monitoring sites and transects on this property so we can begin to document what vegetation is growing, how the horses are using it, how the timing and the seasons of plant growth and the horses' consumption are balancing out. And we're also, one of my colleagues in the animal science department has got a large cache of GPS collars. So we use the GPS collars for tracking how and where animals move on landscapes.
So we're going to see if we can have some of these horses put on some of the collars, and then we can actually track their movements and see where they're going to get food and things like that. But we have to be kind of slow and gentle about it. These horses are not necessarily trained to put on these collars.
These are used for cattle. I think we're going to be able to adapt them to use with the horses. They carry a GPS receiver that can, just like in your car, it'll track where the animal's going, and it's got a data storage disk on it, so we can put the collar on the horse and turn it loose, and it'll continue to record where the horse is, probably 15 or 20 times a day and store it on the flashcard, and we'll be able to retrieve it 3, 4, 5 months later and have a continual map of where the horse was at what time during the day, and we can track numerous horses and see how the different herds that are broken out here at Return to Freedom have been moving around and using the landscape.
Well, they're all definitely keeping an eye on me. I'm not sure if anyone in this group is going to accept the collar, but we'll see who is willing to stand with me coming around with something weird like this. This is definitely a novel item for them, so.
It's easy to forget these are wild Mustangs, and after several attempts with a herd that lived closer to humans, they were able to convince one of them to accept the collar.
So the Cold Creek band of horses look like they're pretty anxious to get on with this experiment. So we should be able to work with them. And as time goes on, get the collars onto different bands so we can see if there's differences between them. But we'll start off with the Cold Creek group.
I wish I knew 25 years ago what I know today, what I'm learning, what I continue to learn from the horses and from other experts about better practices for holistic range management. And I think whatever we do at the sanctuary, we try to do it as a model and things that can be applied on the range. Due to wildfires and drought, the West is heavily impacted. The range is impacted. There's less and less forage. Every year seems to get hotter. But this creates obvious challenges for us. At least half of the year, we're throwing hay. The horses need to eat every single day. Sometimes when you're feeding this amount of horses and they're following the feed truck, it can get a little bit depending on where they're coming from, all of a sudden they're swarming, and you really got to get that hay out there on the ground as soon as possible. Go, Sarah.
What's that?
Keep going.
I'm
getting, it's dangerous for me back here. I'm getting almost clobbered. Beep your horn. We try to get some hay on the ground before the horses spot us. Hang on, slow down. So that when they do spot us, they're not fighting around the vehicles. So this is definitely a challenging time. And so our future looks like finding land where we can grow our own hay and where there's plenty of water to do so, to become more sustainable and independent from some of the changes and outside influences in the world. Some of the things that motivate me is to end the mistreatment and abuse of all animals, all living things, but my focus is the equines.
I can bring you flowers, I can bring you rain, I can bring whatever you want me to ease your pain. It's all that I collected on the road, and now I bring it back home.